gonna mention it in my talk, but it's awesome. Like, it's them putting you together.
Questions for kids, but neither. And for these, it's kind of I was like, what could I do?
Right, you just
I put it on my lap.
should
So,
you need the sticker.
yes, I think one.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin in 2 minutes.
That's them right there.
Please find a seat and turn off all electronic devices.
Oh, well. Good morning, everyone. You guys are always great. They have the hardest job. They have the hardest job.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Georgia Military Flagship presentation for Parkway Elementary. Please stand for the posting of the colors and the pledge of allegiance.
Is there anybody from CRT available to come to room 610?
Ready. Move.
Reason. Colors.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
flagship presentation for Parkway Elementary School. We're delighted to have many distinguished guests with us today and would like to welcome Mr. Richard Woods, State Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Stephen Flip, Superintendent of Columbia County Schools, Dr. Kristen Carroll, Assistant Superintendent of Columbia County Schools, Colonel Christopher Stoddard, Commander, Cyber Protection, Columbia County School Board members, Associate and Assistant Superintendents, Columbia County Commissioners, elected officials, our military family members and students. Thank you for taking time from your busy schedules to be with us today. To the Greenbrier High School JROTC Color Guard, you look amazing. To Amelia Monjoy and Olivia Pasquale, thank you for representing our military students. To our 4th and 5th grade military students for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, how about a round of applause for them? Here at Parkway, we take pride in all of our students. However, we fully recognize the distinct challenges of military children. We all know that military children carry a unique weight, and it's important for us to take special care of these children. Here at Parkway, we take pride in offering numerous opportunities to honor, recognize, and connect with our military wildcats and families throughout the year. To name a few, we have an on-campus military family life counselor, Ms. Angela Bowser, who provides non-medical counseling, consultation, and outreach services to support military students and families as they encounter the challenges associated with military life. Ms. Bowser conducts bi-weekly military lunches with our Wildcats and volunteers in the classrooms. We have a student-led Veterans Day program and a victory wall display. Our Wildcat Warriors provide student-led tours and are instant friends and mentors to our new military children. We honor the month of the military child with celebrations including Purple Up and a military-themed Spirit Week. As an administrator and military spouse, I understand firsthand the many sacrifices military families make in order to serve our country. This is why when qualified military personnel seek employment opportunities at Parkway, we are happy to welcome them into the Wildcat family. I know the success of our school, along with our military students, is knowing we have an exceptional staff who shows compassion daily and always goes above and beyond in their duties. Parkway is overcome with great honor and pride to be receiving this prestigious award. Thank you to all who contributed to us receiving this recognition and to those who helped the ceremony happen. Lastly, to our military Wildcats, thank you for your service to our great nation.
Introduce our guest of honor, Richard Woods, Georgia School Superintendent, who will be presenting the Military Flagship Award this morning. Mr. Woods was elected as State Superintendent in 2014. He has over 30 years of experience in public education. During his time as State Superintendent, the Education Department hired its first ever employees dedicated to supporting military students and established an Office of Whole Child Support. At this time, please welcome Mr. Richard Woods.
Move this little seat step. I don't think I need one to get up, so just make sure. But if I need somebody to speak for me, I think maybe I found a young lady to come in and introduce, so appreciate that. But it is a pleasure to be back with you at Columbia County today. And, I think we were just talking, it seemed like it was yesterday that we were here. And like I said, I appreciate the dedication and again, Superintendent and all your staff, for the fine work you're doing here and just really being one of our 5-star districts throughout the state. So that does mean a lot to our representative. Appreciate your being here in attendance and other guests here. Thank you for showing out today and being with us. But, as we mentioned, I think we have our first ever military liaison is Ms. Rachel Lavoie. So she's the person that's in charge of the flagship, designation. So she reads all the applications and vets and everything. So we appreciate she is a military spouse as well, so she lives what she evaluates. So again, we appreciate that, in her work and dedication, and really looking at, how do we continue to serve and support our military families throughout the state. My dad was 30 years United States Navy. So I'm wearing an Army tie today, so this is a sacrifice, to be honest. You don't know how bad this really hurts. Yeah, maybe my dad is kind of rolling in his grave right now. But for me, and again, as I said, it is personal. But our vision at the Department of Education is to prepare all kids for life. And all kids means all kids. And that especially means our military families and their children. Because what I do recognize is that when our military families move in to a community, their first priority is their children. It is their students. That they want to make sure that they are getting a great education, because who knows when they're going to be moved from one place to one place. Like I said, I remember what it means to pack up in the middle of the school year and go somewhere else. And I think that's extremely important. But also it means making our students feel welcome, because it's a big deal for kids that all of a sudden you have to pop up, move. I now have to learn new teachers. I have to learn a new system. I have to make new friends. And for some, that is a major shift. And it's a hard thing every time you move, and especially as you get comfortable and get settled to do that we want to make sure that these young people feel safe, they feel secure, they feel loved. Because meeting those basic needs first and foremost will allow academic success to progress. And so, I applaud you here for making that happen. Of course, as we found out, Mr. Winter, you're a military spouse, so you know what that looks like, firsthand. So it is extremely important. But it's important, again, to our families as well, because they have a very important mission to protect and serve this nation and our Constitution. And for them to be at their A game, what we have to do in public education is look after their kids. If they know that they are looked after, if they know they are being taken care of, that means their total focus is on the job that they've been assigned. And we want to make sure that they are at the best for what they do. Because mistakes and errors at that level can be very catastrophic. And so that is one of the things that we pledge to do here within the state of Georgia, is to make sure that all of your children are looked after. And that, involves perhaps maybe 3 steps. First of all, when our children arrive, when they're, again, as they are deployed, within Columbia County, what does that look like, that transition? How do we inform our parents of what, services that we provide? How can we support you? How are we serving their families and children while they are deployed within the community? And also when they leave, when they're redeployed, what does that look like? Getting records from point A to point D can sometimes be a challenge. Letting other districts or schools or states or perhaps even around the world, what are some things that we did to make sure that, the needs of these children were actually met. So it's extremely important that we look at that. But also, why is it important that for our military families, to receive such good treatment? As I think about that, we're only as good as our reputation. And I guarantee you, military families talk. They're finding out and they're learning, they're getting the intel on what they're about to move into. Where they're finding out what are the best duty stations that I need to seek day in and day out. But I guarantee you, when these individuals are redeployed, guess what? They're going to talk about Columbia County. They're going to talk about their experience. So our reputation as a state, but more importantly, you as a district, goes worldwide. And that is extremely important. We want to make sure that we are beyond reproach when it comes to providing services and the education experience for our young people. Because at the end of the day, there's something called retirement. And what we want is that we want these men and women who serve and their families who serve, because this is a family affair. It is not just a service of one, but it is a total family dedication in that. But we want them to remember Columbia County when they retire. We want them to, kind of have that Dorothy experience from The Wizard of Oz. There's no place like home. And we want them to call home Columbia County. That is what we want. And I can tell you this, there are no finer folks that we want to have to return to our communities than those who have served and are serving in our military. That's important. That's important to us as a community, but I pledge my support to the U.S. State School Superintendent of the Department of Education that we want to make sure that you have that 5-star experience. And I want to just commend the school, again, appreciate the superintendent, our board members. This is something you do not have to do, but it does not happen unless you provide that support to your local principals and staff. To our principal and to our staff, again, there are a lot of things that go on in education. In fact, I think we've just finished up something called milestones. That may not be a good thing to talk about, but you're going to do fine. Your kids are going to be fine. But testing is a part of what we do for accountability, and again, we think about how do we get better, and we want to make sure that we continue to get better. But as we think about our schools, again, I appreciate your dedication and your support to these young people. Within this school, I think you have over 50% of your population is military children. That's a lot of kids. That is a huge group of folks here that you were saying that you were dedicated to this. And I think that as you look at the challenge here, is that if you know anything about the military, they move around a little bit. So that means you have an ever-changing population. And that adds a different challenge, for our teachers as well. But as I said, our United States military is all voluntary. This is a voluntary award. So I commend you for seeking out to achieve this. So without further ado, we're proud to announce, I'm going to move out here and talk a little bit louder, but I'm glad to say that you are now a Flagship designated school. So congratulations.
In honor of Parkway Elementary earning the Military Flagship Award, it's my honor to introduce our military guest speaker, Colonel Christopher Stoddard. Colonel Christopher Stoddard is the commander of the U.S. Army Cyber Protection Brigade at Fort Eisenhower. The brigade has 1,300 soldiers and civilians and is the Army's premier organization for hunting cyber threats. He is a native of Annapolis, Maryland, and enlisted in the Army in 1994 as a psychological operations specialist, and later was commissioned as a second lieutenant in military intelligence in May 2000 after earning his bachelor's degree in sociology from Louisiana State University. He deployed 7 times to Iraq, Afghanistan, and Somalia in support of global contingency operations. At this time, please welcome Colonel Christopher Stoddard.
First, I want to thank the 2 presenters. So I walked up and they said, I think I'm nervous. I said, so am I. But they did a fantastic job, so let's give them a hand. I also want to thank the color guard. Fantastic. Really good. I was watching the color guard and I thought, wow, they're better than our color guard. I think we need to send our color guard here to take some lessons.
They are Navy, so I'll just say that.
Again, I'm really, really gracious and thank the school, the district, for the invitation. I'm really honored to represent the military at this wonderful event. And I say military because I want to thank your dad for his 30 years of service. Very, very appreciative. But more importantly, I want to thank everybody here in the audience. Raise your hand if your mom and dad are serving the military or did serve the military. Yeah, definitely a lot of hands. I want to say you were the true hero. Being from a military family can definitely be a wonderful experience, but can also be tough. You have to know that your support for your mom and dad's service is incredibly important to them. And I know they tell you that it's important to them, but I want to tell you personally that it matters. Thank you for being brave in supporting your mom and dad. You make all their hard work and all those long hours and trips overseas and things like that very, very worth it. So it's Cage Bell in the crowd? Yes, yes? So I want to thank you for showing the military students around the school and welcoming them. It's very important. So let's give yourselves a round of applause for all you do. We're very proud of you kids for what you do. So if you work here at Parkway, can you raise your hand? It's a lot of people. So your teachers, vice principal, principal, military family life counselor, the whole staff here, they also know how hard it is to either be a member of the military or take care of children in the military. Thank you to school counselor for hosting the Newcomers Club meeting, for helping the kids make the military Wildcat bracelets. I see the purple bracelets around. I asked for one earlier, but thank you for that. Thank you for helping the students write care package notes. Believe me, the soldiers and the veterans love getting those notes, especially some of the goodies, the cookies. So if you don't believe me, you know, she mentioned that I've gone overseas several times, and some of the highlights while you're overseas is getting a care package. And I can clearly remember getting care packages and open them up, and there are goodies in there, and we really appreciate it. But I know you write notes in cards and sign your name. And I can tell you, at home right now, I still have a stack of some of those cards that were written by children all over the U.S. They're very important to us. So really thank you for taking the time to do that. It matters to us. You may never know that, but it truly matters to us. Thank you to the front office staff for spotting military students and helping them getting started and taking care of STAR family members. Thank you to the Parkway Military Flagship Committee for getting this program started. Thank you to the teachers for being kind and patient. Thank you, Principal Winters, for leading the way. It's important. Dr. Cushman for making everyone stay on track, getting that military pin-up map together. So give your teachers and staff and everybody a round of applause. Also want to thank state and local officials. Superintendent, sir, appreciate you being here. Representative Dr. Stephen Flint, Gary Richardson, Board of Education members. You truly help military families and support this partnership. It's important. So as you guys know, there are over 2,200 grade schools in the state of Georgia. And of all of those schools, only 8 get that award you saw right there. Only 8 schools. And you were one of those schools. And that makes you very, very special in what you do. Everybody here should be very, very proud. The Military Flagship School Award is a way for the state of Georgia to recognize what a great job all of you have done. Where I work at Fort Eisenhower Base, there are plenty of parents who have children here. A lot of familiar faces in the crowd of those that work at Fort Eisenhower. We collectively, we see your service, we see your dedication, we see how much you're teaching our children. We also see how much you care for our children every day. I just want to thank, a very special school with exceptional leaders and amazing students. Again, I'm humbled to be a part of this. Thank you very much for the invite, and congratulations on the award. Very special school. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming.